If you use a dynamic microphone to record your voice, there's a good chance that you could use a mic activator to help improve the quality. If you've got noise in your recording, you've got a weak recording level, or you find out that you've got to crank your gain on your audio interface like to extreme levels just to get a good recording level on your DAW, you may need a mic activator. I'm Lenny B, voiceover audio engineer, and in this video we're going to find out when you would need a mic activator. We'll find out how they work, and we're going to hear the difference in sound between a few different types of mic activators. So what is a mic activator? A mic activator, or it's also called an inline preamp, is used to add additional gain to dynamic microphones or ribbon microphones. It's basically a simple preamp that only boosts a low mic level signal. Now they add about 25 to 30 dB of clean gain depending upon the mic activator that you're using. And when I say clean gain, meaning it's designed to boost the level without changing the sound of your microphone at all. Now I'm going to look at three different mic activators in this video: the Cloudlifter CL-2, the Triton Fethead, and the SE Electronics Dynamite. Now the Cloudlifter offers 25 dB of gain, the Triton Fethead offers 27 dB of gain, and in the specs the SE Electronics Dynamite offers 28 dB of gain. Now I don't necessarily believe that more gain is better. I think the most important thing that you want in a mic activator is just good clean gain with no noise, and it doesn't color or change the sound of your voice. So the microphone activator must be placed immediately after your dynamic or ribbon microphone before going into an external microphone preamp or the preamps that are in your audio interface. Now I'll point out that most USB audio interfaces, like the one here, the Volt 1 USB-C audio interface by Universal Audio, they're really two units in one. Half of the unit is giving you one, or in some cases two or more, microphone preamps. Then they're also an analog to digital, digital to analog converter. It takes the analog signal from the preamps and converts them into digital, and that's the USB-C digital connection that your computer can understand and your DAW can process. Then the digital to analog converter takes the audio from your DAW, converts it back to analog, and then out to your monitors, and it's available also to your headphones. So why is a mic activator necessary at all? Well, a mic activator is used to help reduce noise when using a dynamic microphone. And to understand really how this works, you really first need to know a little bit about dynamic mics and how they work. A dynamic microphone is a really good choice for loud sources. If you're trying to mic loud sources like drums, big guitar amps that are cranked, vocals with a more robust, low, mid-range kind of projection. Think of vocalists. A lot of vocalists use a dynamic microphone in a live situation. Compared to a condenser microphone, dynamic mics are less sensitive to sounds that are farther than a few feet away. This natural isolation means that noises like the creaking of a chair, keyboard typing, or mouse clicks are not picked up as much in the recording. And that's a good thing when you're talking about voiceover. That's why so many voiceover artists lean on dynamic microphones in some situations. And in general, dynamic microphones are a little less expensive to manufacture, and they're very rugged. If you drop one, it may have some cosmetic damage, but it's probably still going to work fine. So it's not really necessary to understand the electronics from this diagram here, but you just need to understand that because of the design, it takes more energy to move the coil in a dynamic microphone compared to the thin membrane that's used in condenser microphones. This is really the concept that you need to grasp and understand. Since a dynamic mic takes a lot of gain, you usually need to crank up the audio interface preamp to achieve an appropriate recording level. Now, when I talk about an appropriate recording level, low recording levels also can introduce more noise, so you want to make sure you get an appropriate level. It's really important to get that appropriate level, especially with voiceover when there's nothing else in the recording. And you can learn to do that in another one of my videos. I'll put the link in the description. All preamps, including the ones in your audio interface, create noise. And when turning up the gain to your preamp's highest levels, the signal-to-noise ratio also increases. So to solve this, what we want to do is prevent having to turn up the gain in your preamp or your audio interface to extremes. Now, this is where the inline preamp or mic activator comes in to solve the problem. The mic level signal output of a dynamic microphone is very low. Putting it directly into your interface's preamp forces us to increase the gain, often to those extreme levels, to reach a good recording level. So adding a mic activator or an inline preamp before the audio interface raises the initial microphone low-level signal, and this allows you to use less gain from your audio interface, thus reducing the amount of noise which is introduced into your recording. So I think the best way for you to really understand how all this works is to play for you the audio with a dynamic microphone without a mic activator, then with a mic activator, and then in a few different configurations and settings to show you the difference. I love doing stuff like this, by the way. That's what this channel is about, explaining to anyone creating content, especially if you're working with your voice, making a better connection with your audience. That is the most important thing, and you make a better connection with better audio. LennyB.com is my website. That's where you can get free training on all sorts of subjects. I've got paid courses which help support the channel, along with a very popular custom preset service, and that's where I make your voice sound good with a customized audio plugin chain for your recording system. And then all of this equipment that I'm referring to today is linked in the description. They're affiliate links to my favorite place to buy gear, sweetwater.com. Okay, let's check out those audio samples. I am speaking to you now on an SM7B, Shure SM7B dynamic microphone, and I'm going straight out of the mic directly into my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. And this sound that you're hearing right now is the gain cranked up all the way. I'm tapped out. I've got the pedal to the floor here, and I would say we're close to an ideal recording level, but I could use maybe just a touch more gain. Okay, now I've introduced the Cloudlifter into the chain. So we're going from the SM7B microphone into the Cloudlifter with a short run cable. It's just, I think, 3 feet, and then directly into the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Now, I have the gain on my Scarlett, maybe 75–80% on my Focusrite. So what that's allowing me to do is not have my gain on the Focusrite so extreme. I'm able to back off a little bit, and it's delivering less noise in the system because the gain doesn't have to be cranked up all the way on the Focusrite. So I'm getting a better signal-to-noise ratio out of my preamp with the Cloudlifter. Now I'm going to keep the gain at this setting, but I'm going to switch from the Cloudlifter. Let's switch over to the Triton Fethead. Now we're using the Triton Fethead. I haven't changed the gain any on the Focusrite, but I'm going to back it off a little because the Triton seems to be a little hotter. So I'm backing it off, so it's just about the same level, close to about the same level here. But what is the difference in sound? Can you hear a difference in how much noise? Can you hear a difference in the quality of gain that the Triton is offering versus that much less gain that's having to come from the Focusrite? So again, this is the Shure SM7B into the Triton Fethead, and then right to the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. And now let's switch over to the Dynamite, SE Electronics Dynamite. Shure SM7B microphone into the SE Electronics Dynamite, then right into the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Now this seems like about the same amount of gain that it's delivering. I have not moved the gain on the Focusrite. Can you hear a difference in the amount of clean gain that it's offering? How clean is it compared to the other two? And then how much cleaner is the preamp sound because I'm not having to push it as hard? Do you notice a difference in the quality? Is there no difference at all? Now, I went back and listened to those audio files and the differences between each one of the mic activators, and this is what I heard. The Focusrite 2i2 is the 3rd generation. That's the one I'm using for this test. And with each new generation, as they release them, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd generation, they actually added more gain to the preamps. I was kind of surprised that the amount of noise wasn't as much as I expected there to be when I had no mic activator in the chain. I was just cranking the Focusrite all the way. The noise wasn't there, but it still, to me, it sounded kind of weak. I didn't have enough power, and it just sounded like a weak signal. It wasn't full. I didn't have a warmth, kind of a full body tone in my voice. That's what I heard. Also, this audio that you're hearing is still the SM7B, but I've actually processed this audio because I want you to hear what it sounds like from a processed audio standpoint as well. All the test samples were raw. There was no processing, no EQ, no compression that I put on there. Now, here's what I heard. To my ear, I feel like the Cloudlifter is a little cleaner, although it didn't offer as much gain as the Triton Fethead and the Dynamite. It didn't offer as much gain as those two. To me, the Cloudlifter had more of a clean, kind of a pristine sound that it added, or it didn't add. Whereas I got more gain out of the SE Electronics Dynamite and the Triton Fethead. But to me, they had a little bit of a saturated sound. There was a little bit of a grit in there. To my ear, those are the differences that I heard using all three of these different mic activators on the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. So just a few other important things you should remember when using an inline preamp or mic activator for your recording setup. An inline preamp can be used before audio interfaces, but also can absolutely be used in front of an external preamp or a preamp channel strip like the DBX286S. It's good to remember that shorter cable lengths between the mic and the inline preamp are best. That's why some, like the Fethead and the Dynamite, are inline. They're actually designed to attach directly to the microphone. Longer XLR cable runs can cause signal power to drop and create more noise, so you want to keep those cable runs between the mic activator and the mic short. Placing the mic activator preamp next to your computer can also cause some noise issues in some cases. It's best to place them as close as possible to the microphone and away from other electronic devices. These mic activators are all powered by the use of phantom power from the preamp that you're going to, so there's no need to plug them in. And if you've got a mic, like a ribbon mic, which can be damaged if you accidentally send it phantom power, these units, the mic activators in the chain, don't pass phantom power to the microphones. It's actually like a failsafe that protects the mic. But I say that, but don't take my word for it, because you should always double check the specs for any mic activator that you use and just make sure you don't do any damage to your microphone. LennyB.com is my website, and there you can find out all the different ways I do my best to help you make your voice sound better as a content creator, as a performer, and I think now you're a mic activator expert. Thanks for watching.